So, averaging out the pros and the cons of Yami Shibai, we decided to give it an 8 out of 10. And in some moments, they will really throw you off and add like actual human movement. And the best part about it is that they don't overuse it. Now, if you'll excuse us, we're gonna go watch Yami Shibai Season 3. See ya!
Sayonara!
They ruined it. Alright, so first things first. If you happen to have not seen our thoughts on Yami Shibai Season 1 and 2, you should see an annotation somewhere on the screen that'll take you right to that video. We usually do lots of research on the anime series that we cover to give information about the anime and its backstory, but since we did it in the previous video, there really wasn't much new information that we could have added. But if you want to know about Yami Shibai's origin and how it came to be, while also learning about what directors had an influence on the series, you should check out our previous video.
Yami Shibai Season 3 was directed by Ishikawa Tomohisa. And Tomohisa, well, he hasn't directed any other anime series. With the other anime series he's worked on, he's always taken the music composer role. And it wasn't even for other horror anime, it was for the action genre.
Now I know I was super hyped to see how Yami Shibai Season 3 was gonna go down.
Totally, like what new stories they were gonna tell, what creatures, ghosts, or evil spirits were gonna show up.
And of course, we were ready to be scared. For the first episode, we even waited till it was night out, so we can get immersed into it. Come on, Season 3, don't disappoint.
We kept watching each new episode every week, but after we saw episode 7, we ended up briefly dropping it for about a month and a half.
But then when we had seen the final episode had gotten released, we went back to finish out the series. And it was at that point that we decided, we need to review this anime. The plot is that there's this mysterious kid that draws the creatures that we see in each episode. And the ending, it shows these mass spirits apparently telling him something. Seeing how these things appear by the number of the episode, I'm assuming the spirits may be telling this kid the stories? And while he draws, he sings some kind of song about friends on that side come to this side. So yeah, there's some pretty creepy stuff going on here. That's basically it for the plot. Other than that, it carries on in the normal Yami Shibai fashion of introducing characters, and we basically see their story and what ends up taking them out. So now we're at the part that we'd like to call the watch through, where we watch a few episodes but also break down the parts to give insight or, throw in a few jokes here and there. Yeah, but keep in mind we do want to express how we felt about this, since this is our thoughts on Yami Shibai 3. But to be short and sweet about it, we didn't like it. It just wasn't scary. And the thing about it though is that it didn't have to be, as long as it had interesting stories. Some people like to give Yami Shibai 2 a bit of crap because it's not as scary as Season 1. But Yami Shibai 2 did at least have 2 or 3 episodes with interesting stories. Even one of our favorite episodes is from Season 2. It's episode 7 titled Capsule Toy Machine. And it's not scary at all, but it is pretty interesting.
But wait, if you guys haven't seen that episode, you should totally go watch it. It's only 4 minutes long.
Yeah, so go ahead and give it a watch and come back, because we don't want to spoil it for you. So, you watched it already? Okay, well, we're just gonna assume you watched it. So, yeah, that was pretty crazy, huh? It was a good episode. Being reunited with something you lost a long time ago, or an old pet you used to have. Being trapped in your strong feelings of nostalgia from your past can be a pretty powerful thing. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't scary or anything. It was a genuinely interesting episode. Like, what was gonna be the last memory that the capsule toy machine was gonna remind him of?
One thing that we brought up in the previous Yami Shibai review is how every character seems believable, based on their actions in the heat of the moment.
Yep, because in my opinion here, the characters in here do some genuinely dumb stuff. Like, there's literally an episode where a guy's bathing in a bathhouse. He starts basically getting verbally harassed by this woman on the other side because she's asking him for so much stuff. it gets to the point that she says something really weird like, "Oh, can I have your hair?" or "Can I have a finger?" or something along the lines of that. And instead of leaving, this guy is like, what? He's just barely getting into the bath. He can leave right now. He can leave. But instead of leaving, this guy's basically like, "Oh, well, it's time for me to lather up and get all soapy, so then it'll be even more inconvenient for me to leave." And then, he dies. Spoiler alert. Well, I mean, obviously he dies. And there's another episode where this guy is swimming in a school pool. So he's like swimming through the pool, and then he notices, "Oh shit, there's hair on me. Oh my god." Then he sees something in the water and gets freaked out. Now, at this moment, instead of climbing onto the edge of the pool that he's at now, he decides to swim to the other side of the pool. Like, I get why. It's because there was nothing that he can actually grab onto. That's why he went to the other side. But dude, you're that close to safety. You don't even want to try? Now, other than that stuff, since this is a horror anime, there's one thing that they have to really get right, since, this is supposed to scare you. This is supposed to put you in suspense. And that is the climax, or the final scare of the episode, in which the character or characters that we've been seeing finally get confronted with whatever's been stalking them throughout the course of the episode. The final scares in season 3 were, well, pretty weak. Like, not good at all. Not even slightly intense or even a little bit scary. And some episodes had some really good starts. But, I guess they, really wanted to try something new this season. So they decided to add some kind of 3D animation for the monsters in this season, I guess to make them, more scary or whatever. But they didn't really work. I mean, the final scares are supposed to haunt you in your dreams, but instead, we get stuff like this, or this, and this. Like, what even is this?
I don't know how you guys felt about this new tactic of theirs, but it kinda seems like it made the episodes more comical than scary. But who knows, that is just our opinion.
Yeah, but on a side note, I remember exactly how Yami Shibai failed to get us immersed into the show. We were watching episode 10 titled Merry-Go-Round. And to run through briefly what happens, this guy Shinji and his sister go to a carnival. They end up running into this creepy clown that tells them about the merry-go-round. So his sister decides to ride it. But it starts getting a little weird. Each time she comes around, she gets more and more, distorted. Okay, so right here, this is how I knew that Yami Shibai failed. We were sitting there, watching the climax of the episode, and then this happens. Huh. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not paying attention enough. And that's it. That is exactly what happened.
When you're trying to tell a story, especially a scary story, you're trying to make the audience feel what the character feels, or at least make them feel a little on edge. And well, whatever this was just killed it. Another thing that really bothered me about this season was the art. You may not know exactly what I mean, so let's compare the art style of Yami Shibai's season 1 with season 3. Like the eyes, for example. The eyes are super big in season 3, like super kawaii. With art, you have to be mindful with your character's eyes. The size of the eyes can totally change the atmosphere of the show. And with these eyes, it made everything seem nice and friendly, especially in this episode 3.
Oh, and here's something else. Now, this may come off like extremely nitpicky. One thing that really annoyed me about season 3 was the constant moving. Even when it's obvious the character is standing or sitting still, they're still doing this weird little moving stuff. But finally, let's get down to watching an episode. For this, we're actually going to be watching the final episode in season 3, episode 13, titled Drawings. The first thing we see is that creepy little kid from the opening and the ending.
And then we see this lady who happens to be the new teacher in town appear. She talks to herself out loud and then notices that creepy kid drawing.
Then she looks and sees these kids, trying to jump in the circles? What is that? Are they really trying to jump in there?
おはよう。いい天気ね。変わった子。
So later that day, the teacher from before is now introducing herself to the class. And then, oh, look, he's sitting next to the window, Nia. You know what that means. He's gotta be the main character. Wait, is that the narrator from season 1 and 2?
Well, why do you think is the narrator?
Well, that's literally the only character that we know of in the show. So I think it's pretty safe to say that that's him.
何か質問がある人。
はい。
じゃあ和樹くん。
付き合ってる人はいますか？
ほら。
あの子。うちのクラスの子だったんだ。絵が好きなんだね。今度先生のことも書いてくれない？つまらないから嫌だ。どうかしましたか？
いや、今日欠席した3人なんですけど、行方がわからなくなってしまって。朝公園に寄ったことは間違いないらしいんですが。
If I was this teacher, I would just leave. This place is crazy. We got this creepy kid running around with his freaking, eyes. We got kids missing gigantic circles on the ground, and kids even hitting on their teacher. You know what? This place is really weird. I'm out.
こんなに遅くなっちゃった。初日から頑張りすぎちゃったかな。あの子、こんな時間に何やってるのかしら。何なの？あれ。
She begins to follow him all around town, seeing him create these monstrosities, until she finally gets a chance to take a peek at his notebook.
間違いないらしいんですが。
あなた。時より面白くなったね。どういうこと？だから書いてあげる。
That was super creepy.
Yeah, so that means every creature that we've seen in every episode of Yami Shibai 3, he drew every single one of those creatures. Wow, dude. Hey guys, Present Strafe here, because this is like, a re-upload and everything. But, yeah. Originally, we were going to show you guys the remaining 30 seconds of this episode, which we were going to use to kind of explain to you guys why we felt some of the scares in Yami Shibai 3 were a little bit more lackluster than the scares in Yami Shibai 1 and 2. But YouTube's copyright system keeps tagging this video. There's really nothing I can do. I even tried, adding music during the scene, kind of like I did at the previous part of this video. But nothing's working and I'm kind of running out of time at this point. So hopefully you guys have actually seen this episode, because when it cuts back to the video, we're gonna talk as if we just showed you the scene. Because, again, this is a re-upload. Sorry this is kind of lame and we couldn't actually show you the scene itself. But yeah, stuff like this is exactly why we're planning on changing our thoughts on style up a little bit. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of the video.
So with Yami Shibai Season 3, we decided to rate it a 5 out of 10.
To be honest, episode 13 is what gave it this rank. Without episode 13, we probably would have rated this anime about a 4. And it's pretty sad if you think about it. We love season 1 and 2. We rated those seasons an 8. And it sucks for Yami Shibai to have to go from that to this. And while watching episode 13, the episode ended up showing me and Nia why season 1 and 2 were so good and why season 3, well, kind of flopped. It's a really small detail that you guys may not have even noticed, but in season 1 and 2, when the episode comes to a close, this happens. The way me and Nia look at it is like the narrator ended the story himself. Like more could be happening to the story right now behind the scenes, but this is all he's allowing us to see, and he closes the curtains on us.
Yeah, but in this third season, they just have this soft fadeaway.
With them adding this new effect and the CGI, it really threw off the series. Like, in season 1 and 2, it always felt like a kind of slideshow. Like, the lack of movement really worked for what the show was giving you, to the point that there was some pretty good times where it would really scare you or creep you out because you're so used to seeing a lack of movement that when something just straight on moves, it's really creepy and it catches you off guard. It's really hard to say what really went wrong without us actually being there in the studio with these guys making the anime. I don't want to say it's Ishikawa Tomohisa's fault because I really don't want to put the blame on the guy like that. But something had to have just went wrong this season. I don't know if it's just us because we got used to it, or we just maybe expected more from the series. But it is super cool how we got to learn about the narrator and how he came to be. Though there still are lots of questions that need to be answered, but in our opinion, it's not that good. It's below average. I wouldn't even say watch it. I mean, if I had to recommend anything about this series, it would be just to go watch episode 13. I guess that's basically it, because every other episode in the season is kind of a flop. But remember guys, this is just our opinion, our thoughts on Yami Shibai 3. If you guys like it, that's awesome. Let us know in the comments what you really like about it. But until our next review, we will see you guys later.
Sayonara!